Okay, so let's have a look. Are you with me? Let's do it together, even if you're going through it now. Right, so I'm going to go through the first one, although I think we've already done it once. But it doesn't hurt to do it again. Right? So, here you go. If we take a calculator, then we can check just in case. Right, so what fraction is shaded? So a fraction is when you split something up. So when you've got a fraction, what does the bottom number represent? Sophie?
Was the denominator how many pieces in total?
Yeah, how many pieces in total? So this one we've got
8.
8. And how much is shaded?
7.
7 out of those. Jana, how many in total?
12.
12. How many are shaded? 5. Okay? Right.
Right.
Each of the following. So these, when it's two fractions are equal, this is called, and you might want to make a note on yours, this is called, good, equivalent fractions. Alright? And how do you find equivalent fractions, Sophie?
Well, here in this case, it already gives us the denominator.
Yeah.
So you say that for A, you
Yeah.
do 8 divided by 2 is 4, and what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So 1 times 4 is 4.
So we figure out that 2 times 4 is 8, so we have times 4, which
So
makes...
Or you could
4.
also just do, it's 1/2, and what is another half? What's the denominator?
Yeah, that's another way is to look at the link between those two numbers. Yeah, it must stay the same. So, Millie, this one was multiplied by 3. So the top must be 6, good. Jana, this one was multiplied by 5, so the top number must be 20, good. Following fractions in its simplest form. So this is the one you did 5 minutes. So, simplest form, again, is still equivalent fractions, but we're kind of going the other way. So it's still equivalent fractions, but instead of multiplying, we try and find... Well, do you remember what it is? We try and find a highest common factor. So we try and find something that's the biggest number that divides into 6 and 10. So what's the highest common factor of 6 and 10, Sophie?
Well, 2.
2?
Well, it's not 2, but I mean like...
Yeah, that's what you can divide into both, yeah? So we've got to think, let's think what divides into 6? 1,
2,
2, 3, or 6. Okay? So if I say that, we can divide 6 by really, the only ones I'm interested in
2,
are
3, or 6.
2, 3, or 6. So then I say, we don't do this for every question, just to explain. So what divides into 10? 2 or 5
or 10.
or 10. So what we're looking for is the highest common, which is
2.
2. It's the only common one. So we know we have to divide by 2. So that makes 6 over 10 will end up being 6 divided by 2 is
3 over 5.
3. 10 divided by 2 is
5.
5. So that's how we do it. Okay. Right. So the highest common factor of 10 and 16? Sophie?
5 over 8.
So again, the highest common factor though is
2.
2 in both, because the only one for 10 is 5, so that would make it 5 over 8.
You basically just divide all of these by 2, because 2 is
Example.
But
Really?
the next one, I did it in 2 steps. I did divided by 3 both.
Yeah?
And the answer divided by 2.
Okay, so you thought 3 is a common factor.
But I didn't do the highest.
It's just not highest common. But that's not a problem.
Then I
like you
divided
said.
by 2 again.
So it's 2 over 12, and then you've got, oh, there's another common factor, which is 2, okay, which makes it 1 over 6, right? So what is that? What would have actually been the highest common factor to do it in one step?
24.
24 is not in 6. 6 is
No,
in
but
24.
6 can go to 24.
Yeah, so the highest common factor is?
Oh, I get mixed up with
6.
factors and multiples.
Okay. Well, 6 goes into 6 and into 24. So we could have gone straight to divide by 6, which would have... So are you sure it's 1 over 6? Are you sure it's 6 is the highest common? Yeah. Are you sure?
Isn't it 1 over
2.
4?
Okay. So where's the mistake here?
It's not 2 over 12. It's
Good.
2 over 8.
Yeah. So we did here 24 divided by 3 is not 12, it was 8. And then that makes
1 over 4.
not 1
Oh,
over 6,
2.
but 1 over 4.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's good actually to check. Definitely check your work. Now, here's the thing, adding fractions.
Oh,
So, what's the one thing we know when we have to add or subtract fractions, Millie?
But you're times you're dividing it.
You're timesing it.
You're timesing it.
No. When we add fractions,
Oh, it has to have the same
it has to
denominator.
have the same denominator. So, because this was the slightly easier test, we know that the 7 and the 7 are the same, the 10 and the 10 are the same, the 8 and the 8 are the same. However, these ones are not. So, we'll do the first ones, which are,
6, 7.
yeah, exactly, 6 over 7. Given your answer in simplest form, is it?
No. Yes,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
because 7.
The next one,
8. Yeah.
so
Four.
just to start with,
8
8
over 10. And then 4 fifths.
but then it goes to 4 over 5, yeah. And this one,
3 over 4.
or what's it
Before
first?
6,
6
8.
over 8.
6 over 8.
And before that was 48 over 64.
Well,
Before that.
yes, it can, but why? Why do I need to do anything?
No,
'Cause what
I
you've
did
done-
it the other way, yeah. I did.
You've multiplied, but
Yeah.
we have the same number
Yeah.
already, so we didn't need to. So I bet what you did was multiply both of them by 8, yeah? But that you only do that if, like here, the numbers are different.
Okay.
So in this one, these ones are different, so I'm going to highlight them in a different colour because those two numbers are different. So we have to do something first. Alright? So 1 over 2, 1 over 4, we can't add them together yet. So Millie?
So you do 2 times 4 and 4 times 2.
Right, we can, and I am going to do it because that's what you told me to. Right? But there is also another way.
Okay.
So I can do the 4 times the 2, the 2 times
A 4.
4, so this was times 2 times 2, sorry, times 4.
Yeah.
So then it becomes 4
4
over
over
8
8
plus,
2 over 8.
and so the answer is
Is 6 over 8.
6 over 8, which is
2 over 4. Sorry, 3 over 4.
3
because
over
you're
4.
dividing by 2.
Now here's the thing, so I'm just going to write over here. I'm going to do it again. 1/2 plus 1/4. Now Jana, what's important when you add fractions again?
The denominator.
Yeah, the denominator's the same. Now, did I have to multiply both of them to make the denominator the same? No, because 2 does go to 4. How do I make 2 4? What do I do to it? Multiply it by 2. So what if I only multiply the first one by 2? I end up with 2 over 4 plus, don't do anything to this one, 1 over 4. The answer will be
It's already
3 over 4.
3 over
simplified.
4. So it's already simplified. So I want to make the point that what you did, there is nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly good. You can always use that method. Okay? But then the next step is to think, or do I need to do that much work? Could I do it a bit simpler? Because the thing is, when you start multiplying, if you always multiply the denominators, sometimes the numbers get bigger. Alright? So, I just want to erase that colour.
Oh wait, for times, do you just times the top and the bottom?
What, timesing them together?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tops and bottoms together. So when we add then, this one, did you do 10 times 5 and 5
I
times 10?
tried that, didn't work.
It does work.
It does.
So let's do it again. Let's do your method. So times 5,
5 times 5.
and this one times
10.
10.
So it would be 25.
10 over 50
Yeah, 10 over 50
plus
15
15 over
50,
50, which is
25 over 50,
over 50,
and simplify
is
1 over 2.
1 over 2. Yeah. Now I would say though, again over here, just to show you, 1 over 5 plus 3 over 10, 5 goes actually straight to 10 by timesing by 2. So I could have had 2 over 10 plus 3 over 10, which makes 5 over 10, which is a half. Now, actually, that doesn't make it any quicker than what you did. So, no problem. It just made the numbers maybe slightly easier. Alright? Now, the next bit that confused you a little bit, I think, in the test. So, Sophie, did you figure out how to do this?
Yeah. So this one is quite easy as it's just find half of 38.
Yeah, so I'm going to write that in, half of 38.
So 30 divided by 2 is 15.
So we do 38 divided by 2 is
19.
19. So that's nice and easy. Yeah. What about B then? Jaina, go on then.
You divide 60 by 3.
So 60 divided by the 3 first. So that, okay. So that the answer is
20.
20, and then we do,
20 times.
because that's 1/3 of 60.
Or 20 times.
So it's 20 times 2, because I've got 2/3, makes 40. So the answer is 40. Millie, do you want to have a go at the last one?
What do you do? 40 divided by 5.
Yeah, is,
Favorite calculator?
yeah, I don't mind you using a calculator. I mean, normally we would like to be able to do it, but it's all about the fraction rather than the multiple.
It's 8.
8, yeah. And then we do
8 times 2.
times 2, which is
16.
16. Good. So we've got 16 is our answer. Okay. And then just the conversion, so decimals to fractions in simplest form though. So 0.5, obvious, Jaina.
1/5.
1/2.
No. It's not. It could be 5 over
10.
10.
And then it's
But we all
1
know
over.
that
It's a
0.5 is a half.
Yeah.
Well, it's 50 over 100, which is a half. Oh, no, because it's
5 in the tenths. We don't need to do 50 over 100. But that would go, Sophie, with the next one is what as a fraction first?
64 over 100.
Good, 64 over 100. But then we need to simplify.
Wait,
So
I
would
know,
go
it would be
32 over
32 over 50.
50. Does that go again?
Yes, 30, 15, 16 over 25,
16
which
over
should
20.
go again. No, 25 cannot divide by 2.
But is there anything else? Just check. What does 25 divide by?
5, but
5,
16
that's
doesn't
it.
because it.
So 16. So we're happy that this is probably the simplest. Okay, now the simplest.
If we would have done this, all of us would have scored 4 marks.
You think?
I
You'd
would.
have done much better in that one, would you?
Way better.
Yeah. For this one, right? So actually, let's pick on the ones that were not in it then. So this was slightly harder. So I think simplest form, you understand that now anyway, don't you? So we don't need to worry about that. What about, however,
All the dividing lines.
so, okay, the dividing one. Let's do it. So you want to do this one, Millie?
Well, I sort of forgot how to do it, but I remember I got. Well, I think you do.
Well, I'll tell you,
No,
let's,
you
can we
change
come back
the
to it?
3 over 3.
yeah, can we come back to it? And I'll come back to you. Let's do the times one first for, I think, obvious reasons. Who knows how to do the times? Go on then.
2 times 15.
Okay, 2 times 15
And
is
then
30.
30, and then you do 5 times 11, which is 55.
Okay,
And
but
no,
simplest
simplify.
form, yeah, which is
We can go to by 5. We can
divided by
yeah.
5, so that's over 11 and
6.
6. Now, yeah, good, fine.
Wait, I'm just going to write
Do you remember doing the simplification before we did the question?
No.
No? Okay, don't worry about that So if that's how you do multiplying, just 2 times 15 and 5 times 11. Go on, Millie, remind us how we do division.
You wrote the 3 over 8, you changed it, you put the 8 in 3.
Okay, so instead of doing half divided by 3 over 8, we do half and 8 over 3. But
then,
what goes in here?
oh,
So the divide,
divide, isn't it?
you think the divide still goes?
No,
So what goes in there?
minus. Oh, I don't remember. Because I did the answer, but I forgot. Because I got 8 over 6 in the
Yeah,
end.
so what did you do? What goes in the middle?
Oh, I times.
You times it, don't you? The divide becomes a times, and then you swap the other one upside down.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one that gets swapped upside down.
Is it always the second one?
Always the second one. If it's a fraction, you always do it.
Yeah.
So then it becomes 8
8
over 6, which simplifies to 4
4
over 3. But as a mixed number,
1 over
go on, Jana, 1 and
1
1/3, rather. Okay.
And then for like the other one of 4 and 55, isn't it like,
This one.
don't you do like the same sort of thing? No.
So that was what we did with the other one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All these up here.
Oh.
We just, do you know how to do it now, yeah? So you would do 85 divided by 5, okay, equals what? What's your calculator saying? 85 divided by 5, if you need a calculator.
Sorry?
So 85 divided by 5
5
is 17. And then we would do what?
17 times 4.
Yeah, good, which is
16.
68. Okay. So should we just check the percentages bit, because that wasn't in the easier one.
Wait, which one did you just do?
2. Question 2e.
Oh, 2e.
You know how to do these ones, the adding now, don't you? For this one, for instance, this one I would multiply by
By 3.
3.
By 3.
This one I'd multiply by
5.
5, yeah. And then you can add them. Alright. Right, percentages as a fraction. So just to start with, it would be
7 over 10.
70 over 100.
so 70 over 100, but yes, you're right, Millie, 7 over 10. Okay. 38% would be straight away 38 over 100, which is 19 over
50.
50. Is that it? 19 is a what number?
A odd number.
It is, but it's also a prime number. So if I recognise a prime number, I know there's nothing that goes into it, which helps you.
Are all those there?
The ones in circles are the prime numbers.
Okay.
So you can see it just next to the board in blue. There's a big circle around 19.
Look, it says prime numbers, circle,
Yeah.
and then square numbers.
Okay, it says here 3 over 20 as a percentage. So what do we have to write it as first, as a fraction? What's it got to be over?
100.
100. So this is the equivalent fractions thing.
It would be
So what do we do? 20
times 5, so
times
15.
5. So 15 over 100 would be 15%.
15% total.
Same with this one, 25 but over 100, so it's times
4.
4. So
Wait, I know this. Wait. 10 times 4 is 40, 7, 40, 21, 28, 28, 68.
68, good. So the percentage is
68%.
68%. Good.
Wait, I'm just going to write that down.
Okay, I'm gonna right here then increase 420 by 30%. Now I think, Sophie, you've written something down and you were like, oh, I've done the first bit, but I don't know how to do it. So
Sorry, what?
I remember you said, I saw you write it, increase means do 420 plus
Plus
30%
yeah
of
of 420,
420. So this was the problem.
which is 30% of.
No, because I
It will
did that,
be
but I didn't do that.
Yeah, it would be 420
I got that.
divided by 100, which is 42.
Okay, so I'm going to just write it over here. 30% of.
Yeah, because I got that. I just couldn't do 30% of
Yeah,
420.
so we need to remember. So what do you do?
420, 30 over 100, first of all.
Yeah,
Okay,
30
so
over 100.
30 over 100
of
of 420.
420 divided by 100 is
Okay, or
4.2.
we could do 3 over 10, might be easier.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get it,
Don't you
because
do
it said
30 over
4.2.
100?
So
Yeah, make it harder than
When
that.
you do 30 over 100 times.
So then it's 420 divided by 10 equals 42. Nice and easy. And then what do you do, Millie? 42 times
3.
3. Good. So 42 times 3 is
42, wait, 42 times 3 is, 4 is 12, 120, 126.
126. So 30% of 420 is 126.
Yeah.
So then
So-
you put 126 under the, you put 420
Exactly.
plus 126.
Plus 126 equals
See,
546.
I did 646.
Oh, something.
Why do you think you got an extra 200 then? Where did that come from? Can you spot it in your working out? What was going through your head?
I threw away my paper.
Oh, did you? Okay. That's why it's important to really review your working out.
Well, I'm just going to write that down.
Wait,
Okay.
isn't when it says reduce, wouldn't that be decrease?
Yes,
Okay, so
reduced
what?
by. So we've got a code that's normally sold for 40. It's reduced by. So this time it would be 40 minus
in bracket.
15%.
Because I could do this if it was 15% or 40 that would
Wait, I missed,
Okay, so 40 minus 15% of 40. So all we've got to
15
do.
over 100
So 15 over 100
times 40.
times 40. Yeah, good. We're using consistent methods. Are good.
And then,
So now if you've got a calculator, would make it easy, wouldn't it? So 40
divided by 100
is
0.4,
0.4.
which
Zero.
I found, so
And
it's
then
supposed
4
to be,
point, oh no, 0.4 times 15.
perfect, which is, now you've got a calculator.
6.
So then we would do 40 subtract
6.
6 equals
34.
34.
Euros.
34.
Okay, wait, so,
Because I just forgot how to do the 15% off.
Well, I think it's good that if you can remember that bit, alright, that you know what increase means and you know what reduce means, the fact that it's subtract and add. I think that's a good, very good starting point. So then if you know that that's the bit that you need to remember and work on, then for next time that's what you focus on, isn't it? But I think it's great, girls, that you are looking at this consistent method. There are other ways to do it, but I think once you've got a method to use, work on it until you fully understand it and it really makes good sense. There are other ways to do it, but you can kind of go, I'm always, if that's what you always do, you will always get it correct. Okay. Alright. Any further questions on any of the others that you might want to go through?
no, I
Because we didn't
corrected
go
all of
through-
mine.
Alright.
It's a complication. That definitely helps.